Welcome to Sister Scoop, where we are talking about the big three Marvel news topics of the week. It's a Doomsday week, my friends, my guys, my everybody, because we got more. Well, let's start with we got a Doomsday leak again.
Yes. So this one, I'm just going to lay it out for you. We've got some Wakandans in there. We've got Shuri and M'Baku. We've got Namor. We've got Ben Grimm. We got Ben Grimm interacting with Shuri and M'Baku, which is like super exciting.
Yes.
It's a very, I know one of the articles I was reading just to sum it up, just to make sure that like, again, I'm actually looking at something that's legit. So I like look at it. I watch the video. This is my process. I'm just going to let everybody behind the scenes. I watch the video and I go try to find an article to give that video credibility. And the article was pointing out, it's a very somber tone from Shuri. You can tell that she's been through a lot. Also, the fact that like we kind of have come to a cadence with these leaks. Like they leak online, they go out in theaters, and then we get them like officially the next week, which will lead us into our second topic in a second.
Yeah, listen, like I love Marvel, but like what is happening?
They've lost the narrative.
Like beyond what Doomsday itself does or does not hold, because that's its own thing. I'm just like, how have every single one of these gotten leaked? I just don't really understand how. Now, I will say, I didn't see the X-Men one, which is our next topic, until it was released. I
saw that last week. Okay.
Well, so I chose not to.
Okay. Well, fair.
I will admit, I knew about the leak, and I was like, and I knew the confirmation about it. Like, I knew but like, I was like, I'm not watching it. And then we might as well just get into the next topic. Obviously, we got the X-Men Doomsday trailer that we all were like, what? We're getting X-Men. I was at work, and like, I've had the busiest day at work, because guys, this is my first time back at work. Like, this is the week back since Christmas break, right? Like, the holiday time off. And so, like, today was just back-to-back meetings. I got off of the one meeting, and I just, like, I don't even know why I thought to open Instagram, because normally I don't go on Instagram at work, because I literally don't have time. And I, like, opened it, and I saw the, Marvel posted something. I was like, what is that? And then I was like, this is Xavier's school. I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And so I'm like, oh my god. And like, I didn't have my sound on or anything, so I literally had to go into a conference room, because I was like, I need to watch what is happening right now. And I don't care about Captain America. I don't care about Thor. This was the most important thing I've ever seen in the past, like, month, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we got Cyclops in his suit. We got Professor X. We've got Magneto back. Like, honestly, let's just scrap Doomsday and just, like, make an X-Men movie. Like, let's just, like, I don't need to see the rest.
I mean, look, it was pretty awesome. I think watching all of them reprise their roles, and I know a lot of people have been focusing really heavily on the Cyclops piece, him getting to do some of the more iconic, more, what's the word? Like, iconic. That's the word I just used. I don't know.
That is the word. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, iconic. That's the word. That's the word.
And you're like, iconic.
No, I don't know. But like, when you think of some of the panels of, Cyclops, there was a shot in there, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But it is that panel. And so like, it is so clear that they are really pulling references from the comics, like, directly, in ways that obviously the Fox universe was, playing a little fast and loose. A lot of people talk about how Marsden's, Cyclops was murdered, right? Like, he was not even in the third one quite as much, or is that the second one? Whichever, like, he's not as available as a character in later movies because of the storyline that they chose to go with for him. So to see him do, recreate that panel specifically, but then to get to watch James Marsden as a much older, more seasoned actor, I think he's gonna absolutely, I mean, he was great the first time, don't get me wrong, but 20 something years later, he's gonna murder that role. And like, we're all gonna walk, if we hate everything else about Doomsday, I think we're gonna walk out and be like, James Marsden, Fox did you dirty. You should have been playing this role for the last 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing for me about this is, I know there was a lot of rumor from the very beginning when they were filming at the mansion that the mansion was going to be blown up, the X-Men were going to be killed.
Yep.
And I think, personally, I'd like to think, because they released this trailer, the X-Men will play a more significant role than just getting killed off at the beginning, because
I hope so.
Well, I would like to think that's not the fate of that. Like, why would you bother to not only bring these characters back, but also, like, make an entire trailer leading into Doomsday be just about them? Like, I think that's a very strange concept to me.
Yeah.
But from what I feel like I gathered from the trailer, to me it seems more like if they're all dying, Cyclops is not the one. And so I think that kind of leads into, this makes me hopeful that he might be a very big part in the movie, actually, which I think is a very interesting group when you put Captain America next to Thor, which we're used to, we've seen, next to Cyclops, who is like somehow Thor and Captain America's love child in a very strange concept-y way. Like, it works.
Like personality and powers. Like the personality of Steve, Boy Scout. We always say that. Boy Scout and Cyclops go hand in hand. And then you've got Thor's just like wicked ability to absolutely murder everybody very easily.
Yeah. So like it very much kind of fits into this grouping. It's an interesting trio as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited. Like, I didn't care. I mean, we all heard my thoughts on the Captain America trailer, whatever. The Thor one, I was like, okay, we knew Chris Hemsworth was coming back. We also got the leak already, so like whatever.
Yeah.
This trailer meant the world to me, guys. I need everybody to understand. It's a very exciting thing. Regardless of, to T's point, whatever else is in Doomsday, I'm so fixated on the X-Men storyline of this and whatever they're choosing to do, and it does make me feel a little better knowing that they chose to have the X-Men be the third trailer that they're releasing rather than the rumored Doomsday or like Doctor Doom trailer.
Yeah, I think it actually had the opposite effect for me in the sense that no. It's just hear me out. Just hear me out. It's just
Okay.
like if you're looking at what we've seen and then add it to the leak, right? The Wakandan focus leak. You now have Steve Rogers. You have Thor. You have the X-Men. You have the Wakandans. You know, out there's 2 Avengers teams that we haven't even touched yet. We barely got the first hint of the Fantastic Four with Ben Grimm. My concern is busyness. There are so many characters. There's so many things going on.
That's
I don't
an
disagree.
ongoing situation.
I know, and we've been talking about this forever, but I think what this trailer kind of made me think is like, okay, if we're going to spend so much time on the X-Men, how are we telling these other stories? Because you set up a whole Avengers versus Avengers, like, not battle, but like, you know, conflict in this film as well.
Can
and I'm
I
just
say
like,
something?
Go
It's
ahead.
gonna sound really bad. I care a lot less about the Avengers at this point. and I don't just mean the Avengers. I mean all of our MCU current characters. And I'm just like, X-Men.
Okay, like, that's you though.
I know.
From a story perspective though, like that's where I'm like, I guess my concern is just, are we going to tell complete stories with these characters, or is it just going to feel fragmented?
No,
that's
don't
what
worry.
I'm concerned about.
Don't go in with any standards, because here's the thing. Us Stranger Things fans just did that. And let me tell you, the finale, if y'all haven't seen it, I won't say anything, but seems not to have gone very well. I mean, I've seen it, I agree. And it's so bad to most people that there is now a conspiracy theory that they're dropping a 9th episode tomorrow.
I did see that online. I haven't watched Stranger Things.
Conformity Gate. Listen.
But I did see that theory.
My point just being is, guys, let's not think about this. Because, unfortunately, as a Stranger Things fan, I went down the road with everybody else, and I fear it was just disappointment. And so I think at this point, I'm just going to be excited to see the X-Men. I'm just going to be like, we're going to get a movie in December. That's the facts. A movie is coming out in December, and I have no standards for it. Because I think if any of us go in with standards and hopes and dreams, I think we're just going to be royally crushed. And if we go in with very low standards, at least we could be like, maybe it's going to be better. Maybe it will actually be like, wow, I didn't expect that. So
I'm scared.
I mean, me too, but I'm just like, I'm not going to I can't let myself get into that level of concern. Like, I can't anymore. I'm just like, it's going to probably be done poorly in some way, shape, or form, and I just need to accept that fact. Listen, the Stranger Things finale changed me, guys. I've really been through some things. But speaking of Stranger Things, this was music to my ears. I saw this. I was so excited. Lucas himself, Caleb McLaughlin, is interested in playing Miles Morales, and I know you have your own pick of who you've wanted, but I am so for this, and I actually saw a lot of people, obviously this won't happen, unfortunately. Well, we don't know that. We actually don't fully know who Sadie is playing, but a lot of people saying Sadie Sink would be awesome as Spider-Gwen, and they could play across from each other. I would love that as a whole, but I would love Caleb to join the MCU as Miles Morales.
Look, I'll be honest. Y'all know how I feel, how excited I am about Miles joining. I literally talk about it every time there's even a hint of Miles joining. We have to talk about it because I pick a lot of the topics, and I'm like, we're not talking about Miles ever. You're right. I did have my picks for Miles. However, I will say a lot of those picks are from 5-6 years ago. It's very possible. I haven't seen, I haven't actually seen either of the guys who I had on my list in anything recently, so I can't tell you if they, looks wise might have aged out of the role. So that being said, I am open to seeing like what other young actors kind of have emerged in the time, because 5-6 years ago those guys would have been perfect. I can't say that they are now.
Fair.
But yeah, Caleb called it his or a dream role for him. And then I was actually watching, another shout out to our guy Straw Hat Goofy, one of his videos today, and he was pointing out that Caleb's been practicing spin jitsui. I don't know what that is. It looks like some sort of martial art. I should say I got that from context clues. I just didn't know how to pronounce it. But if he's doing that sort of acrobatic stuff, again, maybe potentially a hint that he's training for a role, or like potentially we know Miles hasn't been cast, but is potentially training for, some sort of audition or something like that. So could be super interesting. I haven't seen Stranger Things, like I said, but I'd be open to seeing him in the role. I know everybody's really been praising his work in that show. And I think looks wise, he totally nails it. So I'm open. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as somebody who has watched Stranger Things from start to finish, I think there's been a lot of conversation about the writing versus some of these kids acting as they grow up. And I think, whatever, I'm not to get into that, but I do think out of all of the characters especially the kids who started on the show when they were 10, 11, 12, and it's 10 years later, I mean, I think he is one that I think has become a very, very strong actor. I think the role or the parts he was playing and Lucas as a whole, and just the emotion he had to evoke in a lot of different scenes especially in season 4 and 5, I think really shows his range as far as I'm concerned. So I really, really like him as an actor. Now that he's not tied up with Stranger Things, I think it does open doors for him to allow him to kind of go further into something else. So I would love to see this. I love when an actor is also passionate about a role and wants to be in that role because they like the character. I mean, like, shout out to my guy Channing Tatum, for example. Like, that man loved Gambit, and unfortunately, got sidelined because of the Fox, being sold, like all that crap, and then finally got his role in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, like, amen. But, I love when somebody is really into the character, because that's how you bring a character to life. Truly. It's not somebody just there for a paycheck or anything like that. They want to do that character, right? So I would really love this. You guys also know I'm pro all my Stranger Things like people being in the MCU. Give me them all, cast them all as different people. I don't care what we do. I want them all in there. So I'm all for Caleb joining. I hope the MCU hears him. I hope he has an audition, whatever that looks like, because I think he'd be a really good Miles.
Yeah, I just my wish is even less specific. Let's just bring Miles into live action sooner rather than later.
Fair.
I know the rule is no live action until the Spider-Verse trilogy is done next year, but that doesn't mean we can't start pre-production and casting. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, friends. Well, this has been this week's Sister Scoop. Make sure you guys are joining us next week as we cover 3 more Marvel news topics. And of course, make sure you guys are listening to us on the podcast side, where we are right now doing our The Falcon and Winter Soldier replay. But we will be very quickly turning over to Wonder Man, so make sure you guys are preparing for that as well, because that is going to be getting dropped on us very soon. But we will see you guys next week. See ya!